Good morning, everybody. It is a crisp morning. There's actually snow on the ground. It's disgusting. I think about October 20th today here in Southern Ontario. And yeah, it's very exciting to see the snow. I wish it was another 6 weeks or so away because I got lots to do still, but can't do much about the weather other than complain about it. So this morning, I am actually going to do a rebuild. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I'm going to attempt to do a rebuild on the spring box for a 1970 Doppelmayr spring box assembly. So here's my instruction manual. This is a fair bit older than I am. In the days before computers, everything was hand-drawn. Now, I really do appreciate Doppelmayr. This is a very complete manual and it goes through the process, even if the pictures are a little rudimentary. And here's hoping that we can figure this out. So basically these spring boxes act as like a recoil mechanism that you'd find on your lawnmower or chainsaw, anything like that, just a bigger version of that. So we will pull this apart and I'll show you the insides, and hopefully this giant coil spring doesn't take my head off. Success and no drama. There's no spring force on it. It needs to be tightened up. But here's this giant coil spring here. See, it's quite a little thick bugger. There'd be a lot of energy in there. I think it's built for 2 people, and it only makes sense that it'd be a little beefy. So here's the wheel. Pull this off. Okay, put that over there. And then this is the retractor with the rope in it. And on this one, I'm going to have to have a look at replacing the rope, give her a quick clean up, and just make sure all the bits and pieces look well and are well lubricated. Actually, this one looks in really nice shape. Somebody was looking after it, and it wasn't me. We'll start pulling this apart and see what we find. Okay, so I've pulled out the assembly here and just spun it upside down for you guys. So this is the braking mechanism. So the idea being that this is spinning and retracting. These are going to get, and I can't really do this one-handed when it's disassembled, but these are actually going to swing out like a drum brake and push against the sides of the drum in here. And that's going to control the speed at which the rope comes out. So it's not going to just slam you once you get to the end of the rope travel. See, I'm missing a spring over on this side. So it kind of acts like a centrifugal force drum brake. Very similar. I'm not sure how to describe it, guys. I'm a mechanic, not an engineer. Jeepers. But, so very cool. So I will see if I can locate one of those springs. And if I have some new rope here. This is basically just a recoil rope. And this one looks like it has seen better days. So we'll get that on the old replacement list. Let's see what I can find here and go through the old spare parts and get this little bugger put back together. And then I got to figure out how to tension the spring. This looks like less fun. Okay, well, you can see on this one how much these pads are worn. Well, I found this one, which apparently is a newer design, but you see a lot more meat on these pads, and I can kind of show you here how this works. So as this spins, these are going to come out, and again, the brake pads are going to act on the side of the housing to help slow the extraction of the rope. Again, really simple setup. Very straightforward to service. Just a couple of points you just want to make sure are lubricated. And yeah, so there's spring here. There's no spring here. This is why we read the instruction manual. Don't put a spring there. Now I got to find some new line here, so bear with me. Well, what a bundle of joy that was. You'd think getting this little knot out of this cavity in here would have been easy. I think it'd been in there a while. So the rope gets spooled around here, down the slot, and then in there. So we got a fair chunk of rope here, so I'll have to do a measurement to make sure I cut them right when I go to replace it. And now to go find it. Gonna be easier said than done around here. Okay, by God, we actually did it right. So I'll show you guys. So the spring's all reassembled. I'm gonna give her a little tug. Wow. So then we're gonna have to spin this housing once we put the end on, which is what Gabby's trying to get the old one out there. She's having lots of fun. So once we have that on, we'll spin this 2.5 turns back, and that'll give our initial spring force. And that should be good to go. Now, this is the fun part. So here's your tea.
Yeah.
Hey, she got it for fresh. So up here, this end threads on. The string actually will go into here, and then you knot it. But what happens is these get seized on. So female end on this side, male end here. And yeah, after 30 years, they kind of become one. So it's a bit of an experience getting these off. I actually got this one off, you can see here. And there's a bit of corrosion in there. And then of course the tube's aluminum, and it's just these 2 rivets right in here that hold it together. So it's very easy to rip or tear the aluminum. That's why we're lift mechanics. It's very professional. So we'll get this back together, and we'll just show you the step-by-steps here. Boop. So before Gabby breaks everything we've just done, we actually got this on.
Successfully.
Very successfully. So next, we're going to rotate the housing here. So we'll get rid of this slack. Yeah. And thread the T on after we put some bloody grease on it so we can get it apart in the future. And by God, this one's going to be done. Hooray. So a quick hour of work, and this spring box has been completely rebuilt. By rebuilt, I mean we cleaned it and sprayed some new lithium grease on it and put a new rope in it. And actually, no, I did. I went and got another chunk that had better brakes on it. So, I mean, I basically rebuilt. Pretty much basically rebuilt. Guy, go do a demo. Do a demo. Gotta see how good this works. Just don't let it, see, oh, it extends.
It's dragging me back.
So there you go, everybody. This is how you rebuild a 1973 Doppelmayr spring block. So if you're ever, in the process of rebuilding one, you will know how to do it. Thanks for watching. Hope everyone's staying healthy. See you on the next one.